Tonight, Red Castle, Green Castle. We re-examine the meaning. Now, is it the border wall? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. First, I want to thank each and every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so I always like to start by thanking each and every one of you. So, thank you so much for coming here and joining us. Now, if you haven't yet, an easy way to get involved with the channel is to come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. And also, don't forget to get involved in the comments section and leave your thoughts down below. Now, we're going to get into Red Castle, Green Castle. Now, my last video, I went into the details of taking the Department of Defense Special Counsel and suggesting that he may be either replacing or becoming a second special investigator to Robert Mueller and Rod Rosenstein and their connection to Uranium-1 and so on and so forth. Now, I know a lot of people out there are following a few different sources here, and they've heard from somebody like Dr. Corsi that Red Castle, Green Castle is referring to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers with their white castle in a red border, and the fact that they're headquartered in Green Castle, which they're not really headquartered as far as I can put together in Green Castle, Indiana. I mean, that's one division of the county office there, and the division is actually headquartered out of Washington, D.C., so I'm not sure who put that one out there, but they have an office in Green Castle, Indiana, and if you guys want to let me know that there's something special about this office, but as far as I can tell, it seems like just a county office that exists there. Now, my interpretation went a little differently. My interpretation dealt with the fact that you have red-green, which is red is stop and green is go, basically, and you have this tweet from Donald Trump where he misspells the word council, and I got this incorrect, so thank you guys for pointing it out. I was kind of doing it off the top of my head, and I got these mixed up, but the CIL, so a council, IL, is a meeting for discussion or advice, but to counsel, SEL, is a verb meaning to give advice. They sound exactly the same. They have two different meanings and just two different ways of interpreting. But the reason I pointed to counsel, SEL, and castle is because he is the counsel, SEL, for the Department of Defense, and what Trump was trying to spell was counsel, IL, who is the special counsel, Robert Mueller. That was the correlation I was trying to draw. So some people got kind of, okay, yes, I made a mistake. Thank you for pointing that out. But that was the meat and potatoes of what I was getting at there. Now, yes, there's an office in Green Castle. Yes, it's a white castle in a red box. Okay. I don't know. I think it might go a little bit deeper. And also, yes, they are starting to construct the wall on Monday. So obviously, yes, there are a lot of things that are co-aligned here, but they did get funding to start the border wall on Monday, and that's not a secret. That was in the omnibus. And the difference between an omnibus and a budget, there's a few different things, but the main takeaway, if you look at it, is that it's more of a guidance. It's not a set budget. And unused funds from other agencies can be diverted to other agencies. So if they allot all this money for something that doesn't get used, then it can be transferred around the government to be used in different ways. So it kind of comes back to what we're talking about here anyway, which is that there is a guidance there, and yes, the wall is going to get built. Maybe we can divert a lot of money to building the wall. That would be very great. As Trump does, he knows how to make things great again, and he's working on our country right now. So, Red Castle, Green Castle, I guess we went through it. 5-5, loud and clear. The kill box for the Y, I take that as a yes, confirmation in the affirmative, but it could be another thing. You guys have given a lot of different takes on that, but I'm not sure how much I can get behind any of them because I'm not sure. I don't have the information. Here's something interesting, though, where we saw the post being put up here on the 8chan board. We actually have this right here, which is the post that was in all of the Q boards. This Red Green Castle has been taken down. Now, it was here briefly, but then it was removed. So I'm not sure what that is a signal of, because it still exists in all of the different places where you find the information for it. But yeah, so I mean, not sure how to put that one all together yet. It's definitely interesting, and if you guys have any like further updates or thoughts, definitely leave them in the comment boards. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sitting down and taking a minute to watch this. Tonight we're going to get into something a little bit more important, I think, because all who believe in the Second Amendment, here's a common argument that I think is made against the Second Amendment. Now, a lot of people say it's the right to merely have a militia, and that there's never a reference to the fact that the individual can own a gun in this country. And I'm just going to read some facts here. I'm going to cite out of an article that was written by Charles Cook, and just got some really great insights here. So first of all, the argument against owning a gun is that we can't have a gun because the Bill of Rights says it's for a militia. And right now I'm going to take you through, and we're going to read exactly the Second Amendment in its entirety right now. So the Second Amendment, okay, passed by Congress on September 25th, 1789, ratified in December of 1791. The first 10 amendments form the Bill of Rights. So it goes on. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay, so a lot of people want to debate that, and a lot of people want to say it's not right, but I have an opinion that goes the opposite way. I think that it is completely pointing to our right to own guns, and I'll cite some facts here. The Second Amendment was ratified in 1791, which is 15 years after Vermont's Bill of Rights, which held that the people have a right to bear arms for the defense of themselves and the state. Quote, 15 years after North Carolina's Bill of Rights, which proposed that the people have a right to bear arms for the defense of the state, and a year after Pennsylvania's Declaration of Rights, which ensured the right of the citizens to bear arms in defense of themselves and the state shall not be questioned. It is also 11 years after Massachusetts confirmed that, quote, the people have a right to keep and to bear arms for the common defense. So I'm citing 3 explicit examples of how these words were ratified in a way that validated our ability to individually own guns for the common welfare and defense of our nation. So just wanted to point that out before I get into what we're going to get into here next, okay? And it's going to be this person. Not going to mention his name. He's a fine gentleman, I'm sure. He causes a lot of controversy, and he's a very controversial individual who has chosen to take this public figure status, giving speeches for the masses and rallying to the cause, an attack, in my opinion, on the Second Amendment and the First Amendment to a degree. So let's go ahead and just look at what he actually thinks. Now, I'm going to play you something that might be a little controversial. Hopefully I won't have to take any flack for this, but I'm just putting it out there because I think there's something to be said about being fair and balanced about how you report news to people. And even if this is an editorial where I'm giving you my opinion and a breakdown, I should be able to deliver this at least to you. I've taken out all the curse words, and I hope you guys understand that it's really for the sake of an investigation here. So why don't you take a look?
That want to keep killing our children. They can have blood from children spattered all over their faces and they wouldn't take action because they'll still see those dollar signs.
Are you exhausted?
I'm beyond exhausted.
Is it energizing, this exhaustion? Is it an energizing exhaustion?
Yeah, it's just as energizing as it is exhausting at this point. I get to a certain point where I get so tired that I just keep going. It creates a positive feedback loop in some ways, where the more stress and work that I put on me, the more work and stress that I can deal with. Well, at this point, it's like when you're your old ass parents, like, I don't know how to send an iMessage, and you're just like, give me the phone, and you take it, and you're like, okay, let me handle it, and you get it done in 1 second. Sadly, that's what we have to do with our government, because our parents don't know how to use a democracy, so we have to. I think what sick are out there that want to continue to sell more guns, murder more children, and honestly just get reelected. What type of person are you when you want to see more money than children's lives? What type of shitty person does that?
And like, there's this whole, I mean, the way that they're talking about it now, the way Rick Scott has been talking about it is like, when the shooter arrives, we need a metal detector and a guard.
With Rick Scott, it's like, when I get elected to Senate, we're not going to let that happen, and you guys better not. He's like, oh, I'm going to implement all of these amazing things. Let me make sure I do it right before my election for Senate when I try calling out Bill Nelson. He's turning this political.
So do you see that as opportunistic? I mean,
it's absolutely opportunistic. He does not give a about these kids' lives at all. He only cares about his reelection. That's why this stuff is being implemented in a year, not today.
What is
this kid? He's a kid. You know, I hope he grows up and gets a little more, you know, just forethought before he speaks, because every time he says stuff, it's really kind of cringeworthy in regard to what he kind of seems to stand for. And ultimately, I get this kind of weird feeling about it, but I'm not going to get into it. On a totally unrelated note, I'm going to play you a clip of something that's completely unrelated to anything we just went over. I want to make that very clear. But you guys go ahead and watch, and you let me know what you think of this clip. Thank you to Critical Pass for putting this out there. So you guys put that together. I don't need to do math for you, but you guys put that together for yourselves. Now, this is another great example. Now, this poor girl, she went through this terrible tragedy. I pray for her, David, all these people. You know, be with them, Lord, because they need you now to give them your guidance and wisdom. I don't know how these people have gotten so. I don't want to cast dispersion on them, but let's just say this. This person has an interesting speech. I'm going to watch a part of it, and I want to talk about something that really stood out to me. Now, this person, her name's Emma, I believe. She puts on this whole thing, and it's not, I mean, obviously, she's gone through trauma, and she's out there giving the speech. You know, all the props to her, exercising her First Amendment right. That's good. But so her speech is basically about 2 minutes long, and then she has about 4 minutes of silence, and then about 30 more seconds of speech, and that's it. And it was interesting to me. I don't know. But there's this one part that really stands out to me, and I don't know if you guys know about suggestibility. It's a part of a hypnosis tactic, right? Where somebody, if hypothetically, if somebody were being handled, right? I'm not suggesting that this person is, but if they were, this is what you would see. And I'm just saying, like, it's weird. And, you know, the guy, he may just be coming out to give her support during the speech. That's very possible and quite likely probable. So I don't want you all to get too conspiratorial minded in the comments, but read this however you may. I'm just going to put it out there for you guys to see, and you guys let me know what you think. But I think I broke down what he said too, so it's kind of an interesting part here. Now, we'll go back and start right now.
Kira, Miss Sunshine. Alex Schachter would never walk into school with his brother Ryan. Scott Beagle would never joke around with Cameron at camp.
All right,
Helen
so you
Ramsey.
see, she's going through all the list of names of people who, God bless their souls, please be with them, and let's pray for them who did lose their lives. Now, let's go here, and this is interesting. Okay, so she starts this moment. It's not a moment of silence. I mean, it might be. I don't know. I can't presuppose what she's thinking, but we'll just fast forward to this. Yep, she's still silent. Hasn't said a word. Still silent. Still silent. I feel bad for her, honestly. Seems like a nice enough person. I pray for her definitely to find healing and closure. But I've heard a lot of her inflammatory remarks, and I don't appreciate them. Even if she is a younger person, she can't say certain things, I don't think. But now, here, let's watch this. This person right here, okay? This is something that's just fascinating to me. Alright, so what does he say to her after she's been silent for almost 4 minutes? He comes out here and he says, now look, just keep watching. This guy, they want you not to follow through, but you are strong. They want you not to follow through, but you're strong. And look at the way he touches her on the shoulder. They want you not to follow through, but you're strong. Now, you guys do with that as you may. I'm not going to make any See, and then this little beeper goes off.
Since the time that I came out here, it has been 6 minutes and 20 seconds. The shooter has ceased shooting and will soon abandon his rifle, blend in with the students as they escape, and walk free for an hour before arrest. Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
Yeah. So that was her whole thing. And I'm not making any suggestions here, but you guys put stuff together for yourself. I'm just kind of laying out a framework without getting into too many details here. Yeah, I mean, and this is what it is. It's going back to this clip right here. We'll look at. Hold on one second. So here's Eric Holder giving his thoughts about brainwashing students through this education system about anti-gun policies and gun control.
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I hope that I don't get in trouble for making this video, but I'm sorry, but I'm not. How can you be sorry for pointing out the fact that, okay, so kids who, I mean, God bless them, they were affected terribly by this tragedy, but they can't vote, and most of them can't own guns, and they're trying to dictate to us how we should vote and how we should legislate our ability to own and operate firearms. If I'm the only one who sees that as just the as they say, the lunatics running the asylum, then so be it. But I mean, I'll be here to point these things out as we go. And I hope that you guys stick with me and help me continue to keep my voice loud so I can spread this information, because I need each and every one of you to be on board. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. That's going to be it for Just Informed Talk. If you're looking for a way to contribute, come here, click the red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell. That's the easiest way. Then, second best way is to go down to the comments and make up whatever thought, theory. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, point it out. You never know, you might get featured. So thank you guys so much for coming here and enjoying this time with me where I kind of go into some things. I hope it helps. Another great way to support the channel is to come here to my Patreon page. It's Patreon, patreon.com/justinformedtalk, or you can come to patreon.com and search Just Informed Talk. Just come here. You can become a patron by hitting the big red button here. And if you want, just come. You can look through my goal and my rewards, and there's some cool stuff. You can have a chance to have an email correspondence. You can come become a featured Patreon patron, and you can also get a chance to get a T-shirt, an official Just Informed Talk T-shirt. So that's something cool to come check out if you guys are interested. But before we go, I'm going to take a second to do what is the most important thing at the end of each of these videos, is talk about God. And it's appropriate because the Lord is always with us. I've been racking my brain lately to think of new ways to present the greatness of God to you guys. And the more I do it, the more I realize that we all need to take thanks for what we have now. And what I mean by that is that, you know, you can give thanks to the Lord, but we need to take it. And what does that mean? We need to seize the opportunity to be thankful every second that we're afforded it. If the Lord grants us another breath on earth, the ultimate goal should be to use that breath to glorify Him. And I understand we're all imperfect humans, and we may not do that all the time, but we need to strive to do that. We need to strive to think that every incoming breath is this gift from God that we should just be very thankful for. And if we were to lose it, if tomorrow we were not here, how would we leave the world? And it's easy to get caught up in the bickering of, politics and all this, but as important as it is, the thing that's more important is your eternal salvation, ultimately. These topics and issues really are important for our day-to-day lives and how we're going to live, how our kids are going to live, how our kids' kids are going to live, and so on. But there is more to the equation than just that. And the missing part of the equation usually for most people is God's grace, because His love for you will always be there. But in order to embrace that love and bring it closer to you in your life, all you have to do is open your heart to God. Once you do that, so many blessings, and you'll see the world in a totally different light, and it'll just be amazing, and you'll see. And there's so many people who I'm sure in the video watching in the comments could attest to it. I bet a majority of the subscribers would attest to that. And I just want you all to know that God does love you, and He's only a prayer away. So if you're having doubts, if you have been an atheist, if you've been agnostic, if you've had trouble at home, if you've had trouble at work, whatever it may be, just say a prayer, open your heart, and become the light that God wants you to be, to shine unto the world and spread His message and shine light onto the darkness. Because that is what you were meant for. Don't let the media brainwash you into believing you're not. So that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me here on Just Informed Talk. I'm Craig. I want to thank you all. If you haven't yet, make sure you come click the subscribe button. But that's going to be it. So God bless and Godspeed, Patriots.